Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's Pick a Card reading is all about the life-changing news coming toward you. Take a moment to settle in, breathe deeply, center yourself, and tune into your intuition. Today I have 3 piles for you to choose from. From left to right we have pile 1, 2, and then 3. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, trust that instinct. There may be messages for you in both. You'll find the timestamps in the description below. Take your time, and when you're ready, jump into your reading. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. There's something stirring beneath the surface, an inner fire that's been waiting for permission to rise. This message coming towards you is going to strike a match against that part of you that's been dormant. It won't just feel exciting, it will feel necessary, almost like a forgotten part of yourself is being reawakened. And this isn't subtle. It's visceral, emotional, and deeply personal. There's an undeniable sense that something within you is finally clicking into alignment after a long time of holding back or waiting for the right time. It's like being jolted awake from a quiet, controlled state, not in a panic, but in certainty. And once it lights up, it's not going to dim again. What's interesting is how long you've been maintaining a middle ground, walking a fine line between what you want and what's been possible, or at least what felt safe. There's this quiet precision you've developed, like you've become excellent at managing situations that don't actually reflect your full truth. This news breaks that illusion. It doesn't ask you if you're ready, it simply shows up and forces a recalibration. And while the initial disruption may feel like an imbalance, what it really does is bring your energy back into motion. It's the end of waiting, of stagnation disguised as peace. There's a truth in this message that cracks open a space you've been trying to keep sealed. Where this leads is into something entirely new, and it comes with a rush. You've been pushed forward by this moment, almost propelled into a space that's unfamiliar, but not unwelcome. There's a boldness in what's arriving that you may not have asked for, but it knows you're ready. This is a clean break from the past in the sense that it doesn't carry old baggage. The space you're entering doesn't have room for outdated timelines, for hesitation, or for roles you've outgrown. And while the shift is exciting, it also carries weight. You're not just leaping for the sake of change, you're leaping because there's something real on the other side that demands your full presence. There's a tangible opportunity woven into all of this, something solid that wants to be built. This isn't just emotional or spiritual, it's also material. There's structure coming in, and it asks for your focus and consistency. This news marks the beginning of a process that will take real effort, but it's effort with a purpose. You're not being tested, you're being initiated. You're stepping into a space that aligns with what you've been quietly working toward, even when it felt like no one noticed. There's validation in that. You'll be required to show up fully, yes, but there's also the satisfaction of finally having something real to pour yourself into. It's not just growth, it's mastery. But to enter fully, something must be left behind, not just emotionally, but at the identity level. You're undergoing a shedding process, one that's long overdue. The news that arrives may feel like a door opening, but it also signifies a door closing behind you for good. This isn't theoretical transformation, it's tangible. You'll feel it in your body, your routine, and the way the others interact with you. The old cycle isn't dissolving quietly, it's making way for something sharper, more aligned, and more demanding. You're no longer a match for the spaces you've outgrown, and this moment cements that truth. Once you step forward, there's no going back, but there's also no need to. Still, there's resistance, a part of you that remains emotionally hooked into what once was. It's not about regret, it's about the gravity of change. There's a softness here, a lingering attachment to something that once felt safe, familiar, or comforting, even if that wasn't right for you. The message coming in stirs that emotional tension. You might feel the pull to go back, to question if you're ready, but the truth is, that version of your life isn't available anymore, and deep down, you know it. The longer you stay emotionally anchored in the past space, the more friction you'll feel as this new energy moves in. But the transition doesn't need to be forceful, it can be intentional. The invitation now is to release with clarity, not from fear, but from understanding. This news marks a defining moment, not a detour, a direction. It's the signal that everything is shifting, not just around you, but through you. And what's coming isn't abstract, it's real, it's activated, and it's asking for your full attention. Life isn't waiting anymore, and neither should you. That's what I'm getting for pile 1. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course like and subscribe. See you next time. Hello pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. The message coming toward you is a clear signal that it's time to leave something behind. Not in a vague or metaphorical way. This is a decisive shift. The energy around you is no longer compatible with what you've been trying to sustain. There's an emotional readiness now to release what no longer feels nourishing, but more than that, there's a sense of spiritual momentum building. You're not walking away with regret, you're walking away with clarity. It feels like you've reached the end of something that once mattered, but no longer contributes to the life you're meant to be building. The life-changing aspect of this message isn't just about departure, it's about finally accepting what your intuition has been whispering for a long time. You're ready. There's a strong emphasis here on stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't rely on emotional validation from others. This incoming shift solidifies your foundation. You're being supported into stability, whether that's financially, in your personal power, or in a way that gives you more autonomy than you've ever had before. What's interesting is that this doesn't feel like a windfall, it feels earned. You've been developing strength through consistency, even when it felt thankless. This message confirms that your steadiness has not gone unnoticed, and that this time, for the energy to be reflected back to you in a more visible, affirming way. The power you're stepping into is practical, not performative. You won't need to prove anything, your results will speak for themselves. But to fully step into what's being offered, there's a recognition here that something hasn't been yielding the return you hoped for. There's been a drain, energetically, mentally, perhaps even financially, when you've continued to invest in a situation that hasn't grown. This message brings an ending to that dynamic. It's the moment when you stop watering something just because you've already spent time tending to it. There's a breakthrough in letting go of the sunk cost and realizing that your energy is too valuable to be poured into a container that can't support your vision. And while this awareness may sting briefly, it also brings freedom. The new is only accessible once the old stops consuming your resources. There's also been an imbalance here, an effort to juggle too many priorities, to keep things in motion out of obligation rather than alignment. This life-changing news clears the clutter. It forces you to focus and to reprioritize. The chaos gets quiet, and that clarity, while perhaps sudden or even uncomfortable at first, is going to be a relief. No more splitting your energy, no more pretending you can carry it all. You're being asked to choose, not out of pressure, but because something new is being offered that demands your full presence. This is a recalibration. The overwhelm breaks, and in its place is structure, stillness, and control. And then everything clicks. There's a powerful awakening energy that confirms what you've already known. You're meant for something more. This isn't just a realization, it's a call to action. What's arriving is an opportunity that feels destined, not random. It will feel like something you almost forgot you were waiting for, returning at exactly the right moment. There's a sense of inevitability in it, as if this moment was always going to arrive, you just had to be ready to receive it. This is where the emotional and practical finally align. A version of you that has been quietly evolving in the background is now ready to step forward and take the lead. And the message? It doesn't just validate the growth, it demands it. What follows is hope, a vision taking form, something once imagined becoming possible, and not in a vague, one-day kind of way. This is real, tangible, and directional. You're not being told to dream, you're being shown a path that makes the dream viable. This energy is rare. It's futuristic, yes, but it's also grounded in healing. There's a renewal coming. It doesn't just wipe away what's been, it lights up what could be. You're being positioned for alignment, not through fantasy, but through preparation. The time you've spent healing, learning, and waiting, it's all led here, and now the way forward is finally visible. The news arriving is a pivot point. It brings closure to something that's drained you, stability to something you've been growing, and a new vision that's ready to be lived, not someday, but now. That's what I'm getting for pile 2. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course like and subscribe. See you next time. Hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's jump right into it. There's a sense that something fresh is breaking through, but not gently. This is sharp, clear, and undeniable. The news coming towards you cuts through confusion, through hesitation, and through any emotional fog that's been clouding your judgment. It's a moment of truth, and it lands like a strike of lightning. This isn't something you'll need to sit with and contemplate, you'll feel it instantly. Clarifies, defines, and sets a new tone for what comes next. There's no ambiguity here. What's been lurking in the shadows is exposed, and in its place comes mental clarity you may not even realize you needed. What's especially powerful about this message is how much it disrupts the false narratives you've either been told or have told yourself. There's been something in your environment that wasn't fully honest, whether it was others withholding or you staying quiet to keep peace. That energy is being cleared out. You're no longer willing to play along with dynamics that depend on deception, half-truths, or misdirection. And this isn't dramatic, it's decisive. The life-changing moment isn't just about what's revealed, it's about how confidently you choose to step away from the subtle betrayals and from the quiet manipulation. The air is clearing, and with it comes the freedom to stop second-guessing yourself. And then, unexpectedly, something opens. Where there's been coldness, there's warmth. This news carries with it not just truth, but emotion. Something soft and genuine reveals itself in the wake of what's been cleared away. It feels like the beginning of something deeply emotional, the kind of connection or moment that has the power to reset your heart. It doesn't arrive in chaos, it arrives in stillness. It catches you off guard, not because it's overwhelming, but because it feels pure, real, and deeply personal. This isn't an echo of the past, it's a clean slate. Something or someone shows up emotionally available, emotionally honest, and it shifts the way you look at what's possible for you emotionally. There's also a sense of inner sovereignty returning. You're stepping into a phase where your judgment sharpens. You see people and situations clearly. You're not operating from wounded responses or emotional guesswork anymore. This message affirms your mental authority, your ability to make decisions that serve your future, not just your feelings. You've developed a kind of discernment that can't be taught, and now, with this shift, you're not just thinking clearly, you're being recognized for it. Whether this news comes through conversation, decision, or invitation, it carries the weight of respect. You're being seen as someone who knows their value and doesn't compromise their integrity to maintain a false peace. And speaking of peace, it's finally on the horizon. There's been conflict around you, whether open or quiet, that's created tension for too long. Competing voices, inner doubt, power struggles, misalignment, all of it begins to dissolve. The message coming in breaks that pattern. It's like a ceasefire, but not where you're surrendering anything. You're stepping out of the game entirely. The chaos loses its pull because you're no longer emotionally invested in proving anything to anyone. The tension dissipates because you're not feeding it anymore. What's life-changing here isn't just the arrival of clarity or emotion, it's the exit from noise. You no longer need to fight to be understood. The shift is clean, empowering, and full of new potential. You're being realigned with truth, with heart, with mental clarity and emotional openness all at once. The message that comes forward might surprise you in how simple it is, but the ripple effect is massive. Because what it offers isn't drama or intensity, it offers freedom. You don't need to brace yourself for this, you need to receive it. That's what I'm getting for Pile 3. If this resonated for you, please let me know in the comments, and of course like and subscribe. See you next time.